Pluto opposite Venus. So I'm in my favorite place in the world, in a forest. It's my sanctuary. This is where I regain my strength, my power, and I deeply cherish this place. As with everything we cherish, we want to preserve it, right? Protect it. We're not protecting only something tangible, we're also protecting our value system, because what we cherish and love is also our value. This is Venus area, right? What we love, our sense of pleasure, relaxation, our sense of value. And Pluto is transformation, is disruptance, it's intensity. So there's this need to prevent what I love, what I cherish. There's also a resistance. When Pluto crosses his arms and asks, do you really think you're gonna protect everything that easily? I'm about to transform you with my power. Do you think you'll just slip through it just like that? So let's talk about it a bit. In 3 days, there's a big astrological event in my life, starting my natal Pluto will oppose my progressed Venus in Taurus, and my natal Pluto is in Scorpio. Venus also can be seen as this field, right? A field where you plant the seeds and you want to protect those seeds. You want to protect your earth, your property. And Pluto is like this external force, this plow that can, disturb your soil, disturb your seeds that just want to sprout peacefully. And to protect what is dear to you, you think, okay, if Pluto oftentimes represents our inner shadows, our inner unresolved shadow material in the external life, right? Maybe by being more reflective, I'll be able to prevent my soil. I'll be able to prevent those things that I love and cherish. There is, of course, sense in doing that. To prepare, to analyze. But to some extent only. When we protect something very harshly, right, very rigidly, it can prevent the necessary change. I can use my resources, let's say to build a fence, to protect the tree, right? But the tree might die inside, he might become stiff. But if the external force comes and breaks it, the tree might heal from within. It can rebuild from within. It can grow anew. It can transform. And this might be very difficult, right, to accept this inevitable external force of change. Because from the very young age, from the very infancy, we are simply pampered. From the clothes we wear, to the medicine we take, to the therapies that we undergo, we just treat it so nicely so that we don't undergo anything too harsh and disruptive. But at some point it can become so artificial, right, and so outgrown, it can weaken us in the long run. I oftentimes would say that the best therapy happens outside the therapy room, right? Yes, you might acquire the tools to cope with the life, right, with the life forces, but you can never simply make the change, the real change. You cannot really foresee in the therapy room, right? You can heal maybe what was damaged before, you can get insights, but you cannot bring the act of life into the therapy room. This is just what I personally believe in. And this is something similar to what I'm experiencing right now, right? I think, oh my God, Pluto is so intense, it's so terrifying. I should somehow foresee those upcoming turmoils and trivia and tribulations. But yeah, I'm not sure if I really can, and I'm not sure if I really should. Doesn't matter how insightful I could be, how nitty-gritty I could be about my psychological processes, sometimes it's just not possible. Pluto is way more powerful. And yet I don't mean to make Pluto look like this Uranian force that is like lightning from the clear sky. It is good, right? And it is possible to some extent soften the edges of Pluto forces, because Pluto sheds lights on our psychological processes, and if we are aware, we can connect the dots and see the bigger picture, right? We can navigate Pluto's terrains easily the more mindful we are, right? But only to some certain degree. I can take a branch, right, and break it, hoping that it will repair in the spot I broke it, right? But maybe the spot needed to be in different place. Maybe the breakage needed to occur in different place, and maybe the whole branch or maybe the whole tree needed to burn down. I don't know. And sometimes this is not for me to know. And you really have to have faith that Pluto, even with these uncomfortable transformations, will inevitably bring light. To believe that there is light in Pluto's darkness and shadows. Pluto will demand faith, and this is up to you if you will be able to see that light in Pluto's darkness. And sometimes this shift of perception is the biggest transformation that you will experience. And this transformation is blessing, of course, only if it is real, deep transformation, not just a superficial, positive thinking that, oh, everything is good despite its appearances. Because Pluto doesn't give into superficiality. Pluto doesn't buy into it. Now let's come back to the fears, right, with which we started. Fears that automatically arise when we talk about Pluto. I read somewhere that the meaning of Pluto opposing Venus can be literally the death of your loved one. Of course, your loved one could have maybe more things going on than relationship with you, due to which he should die. Another interpretation is that Pluto and Venus opposition can bring the loss of your resources, maybe the loss of income. Again, you can sit and reflect, okay, but if I'm not attached, right, my consciousness is clear, probably this will not happen. So you screen through possible scenarios, and you can be like, okay, so I'm clear. But this is screening, right? When I think like, okay, my income will stay intact, my partner will stay intact, everything will be okay because I'm clear, I'm not overly attached. Let me ask you, do you really think that such kind of screening isn't attachment in itself? Right? Yes, you might debate that it doesn't equal the gripping, right, in its most intense and extreme form, but in a more subtle form, right? If we go more deeply into it, there are different levels of attachment and craving. One could be that I physically hold on to something, right? Then the second level, I could hold on to something mentally. And the third level could be that I detach, right? Maybe I distract myself from my object of attachment. And I can do it, with an intention to keep that attachment object. It really reminds me of those tips that are usually given in various manifestation workshops, that in order to attract a partner, right, especially someone that you chase, you need to detach. So metaphysically, you create space, right? You clean the space from your own thought, your own cravings, and the partner has some space where he can come in. And this can work perfectly to someone, and most people probably wouldn't bother to question. So, why should I even consider that this is attachment, right? And why should I feel guilty about it? I attracted someone, so I'm good to go. And yes, maybe it is not something that you should really overthink, right? But yes, I'm not the one to claim that you should really restructure your approach to this. I'm not some enlightened guru who says that the only key to happiness is complete detachment, because I don't know if such 100% detachment is even possible, especially in the world we live in. So yes, being mindful about attachment is good. However, I don't know, and I cannot claim anything. The only thing I can claim firmly, and I want to encourage, is faith that Pluto will point to me what am I attached to and what I need to let go of. And he will do it not in order to put me down or destroy me, but to lift me, to help me evolve. So this is this faith, the certainty that I have. This is what I want to share with you also. That you take Pluto transits or progressions as a way to, get some more light into your pattern and be acceptant enough that, something might happen inevitably in your life where you will have to reconsider things, and you cannot always prevent the pain. So yes, with the certainty and with this light, I will enter this progression, and I hope the best for you as well during your transits or progressions. Thank you.